Studio Me Productions is a full-service video production company based in Pittsburgh. It offers custom video production services, podcast studio rentals, and communication studio build-outs. Choosing Studio Me Productions means investing in a partnership that values creativity and delivers results that exceed expectations. With a deep understanding of marketing and storytelling, Studio Me ensures your project will captivate and engage your viewers. Learn more at studiomeproductions.com. That's studiomeproductions.com. A strong work culture is the invisible force that binds employees to each other, to the company, and to their work. It's linked to better business outcomes, happier employees, and increased retention. How we work and where we work continue to evolve in almost every way, yet our human need for connection and purpose remains. Help your employees connect and thrive by evolving your culture to support your team, regardless of how or where they work. So discover how the Kindling Culture Agency can transform your company's culture at sparksomething.big.com. That's the Kindling Culture Agency at sparksomething.big.com.
CompUnetics is the leading developer of unified voice, video, and data collaboration and conferencing applications for the service provider, government, and unique workflow applications. The Summit Olympus and Evergreen platforms, driven by their encrypted user interfaces, enable powerful and secure collaboration. Combined with world-class support and innovative professional services, CompUnetics delivers the right solution every time. Learn more at compunetics.com.
This is TechVibe Radio. It's your front row seat to Pittsburgh's technology and innovation ecosystem. TechVibe is brought to you by the generous support of CompUnetics at compunetics.com, Chorus Call at choruscall.com, Highmark at highmark.com, Huntington Bank at huntington.com, the Kindling Culture Agency at thekindlingagency.com, PNC Bank at pnc.com, Savior at savior.com, and Studio Me at studiomeproductions.com. TechVibe proudly broadcasts from the Huntington Bank Studios. Let's get the show on the road. How did it come Sunday already, everybody? Hey, happy New Year. Can't believe it's 2026. This is Jonathan Kirsten with the Pittsburgh Technology Council, and we are kicking off 2026 in style and with a ton of energy because I'm welcoming David Radin today. He is just a serial entrepreneur and, dare I say, a fixture on our tech sector here. And he is with his company called Confirmed App. And if you go to confirmedapp.com, you can check out everything that he does. But today he's going to be announcing something new, and I'm pretty excited about it. David, great having you back here in the Huntington Bank Studios. No stranger to TechVibe and all the fun stuff that we do. You've always got a great story to tell. You're always working on something new.
But it has been a long time though.
I know, it's been a while. So it's good to catch up
Glad
with you,
to be
man.
back,
Yeah,
Jonathan.
it's
Thanks
good
for
fun stuff.
inviting me.
Good fun stuff. Before we jump into everything, just you work on so many different types of things out there. And of course, we want to talk about what you're doing through the Confirmed app that you've been working on. Give us your lowdown real quick so we know what we're talking about today.
What
what are you doing these days, David? Yeah.
Okay.
And then we'll jump into the new product, of course, that you're ready to launch, which I think is very exciting for you.
Yeah, so I think you're aware that I've been in the industry for a few years,
A couple. I think you just, 2022 you got into it or something like that?
Right, for TQ?
Yes, I did.
That was a long time ago.
Very long time ago.
Anyway, yeah, so I continue to do what I've been doing with Confirmed, which is to help my clients be more productive.
Absolutely.
And be able to do a better job in their day-to-day work life and make it less stressful.
Like I said, you're always spinning something up, and that's what I think is really cool. Let's jump into we just got to jump into some. I'm very excited for you. I mean, but you're always working on stuff to make people's lives easier, especially in the business world, right? Whether it's scheduling calendars and invites and things like that. Now you're entering the event space. Which is kind of crazy because I just love saying the fact that, like, man, there's so many events going on just everywhere, but Pittsburgh in general, I feel like the events have just picked up. I look at the Tech Council. I mean, we do 130 plus events a year.
You do.
There's something to go to every night of the week at Pittsburgh for professional development.
That is true.
As far as I'm concerned. So.
That is true. And we're already part of some of them with Confirmed.
Right.
But
okay, cool.
In fact, you say that I'm entering the event space. I personally am not. I used to be conference co-chair of two of the largest internet and sales related conferences in the world.
Okay.
So that was a long time ago. And I used to do events for my tech clients around the country, including for
remember
Verizon
that.
and other
Oh,
people.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's not a new thing to me, but it's sort of new to everybody else because for 5 years, we didn't do events anywhere.
I remember that.
Yeah.
It's very scary.
Wasn't that terrible?
And now it's back in full force, thank God. So the timing of your product is perfect when it comes to the confirmed meet and greet.
Yeah. So one of the fun things about confirmed meet and greet is now I'm in a position where I can take a lot of things that I've done over the years in various parts of my life and various roles that I've had in the tech industry and elsewhere, and sort of bring them together for the good of mankind, so to speak. So it's a really fun way to be able to do that. But, if you think about it, the events industry, the events idea is actually staging a comeback right now. They stopped almost completely in March of 2020, which, by the way, was 2 months after we announced Confirm's product for a mobile. Yeah. We announced it out at CES in January of 2020.
I remember that. And then the thing, people weren't really meeting up so much for quite a while.
Oh, and ours was specifically oriented towards people who actually left their office. So that made it even worse.
Even worse, yeah. You're
but
like, damn, your timing is perfect.
We managed to stick around.
You're resilient, man. That's why we love you, dude. You keep at it. That's cool. That's cool.
So look, you are one of the most prolific, best workers that I know.
Me
and Audrey both actually are two really good networkers.
Maybe,
probably in part because of what you just mentioned a few minutes ago.
We do a lot of events, yeah.
You do a lot of events.
I run into people a lot, yeah.
And some of that is on purpose, I think.
Well, yeah, I like to talk to people.
So let me take you as an example.
Okay.
Because, and when I talk to people at events, when I'm introducing this, they're always nodding their heads at this particular thing. So generally, if you think about the last event or last several events that you've done, chances are at those events, one of three things happened to you. Either you talked with somebody and forgot what you talked about.
That happens.
Or you talked with multiple people and you forgot with who that you were talking about a specific topic to.
Well, there's that. Yeah, I mean, for me, it's even more basic. There are times when I'm doing so many things at once.
Right.
Someone tells me their name and then it goes in my head and right out sometimes. And that's like the worst thing in the world.
It's not you. It's not you. Okay.
I'm not losing my marbles.
This is the state of the human race.
Yeah, okay.
So those two things happen to almost everybody at any networking event. And the third one is follow-up just doesn't happen.
Well, that's are there some startling statistics on the amount of follow-up that actually happens from a meeting? Because so many times it's like, you're like, you have every best of intention to get back to that person, but you either lose their card or you
forget about it, or life gets in the way, or whatever. Yeah, there's lots of reasons it doesn't happen.
Okay, and meet and greet's going to address all of these things,
that's
right?
the idea.
Okay, I'm building up to the suspense here.
When you think through this, what you realize is, and when you deal with, especially in the sales world, and look, we've designed this first in mind with people who are in a sales type of role because they do a lot of in-person networking.
Right.
This product, Confirm Meet and Greet, is not about Zoom meetings or Teams meetings.
Thank God.
This is typically about in-person meetings where you and I are, or events where you and I are going and we're trying to.
Should have called it Press in the Flesh.
That's a new one.
Use it if you want to. Next one's going to cost you $5.
Thanks, but I think I'm going to use Meet and Greet. Okay. You anyway.
Well, it could be an after-hours version of that.
We got that.
Okay.
We got that too. So, anyway, so what we realized, and again, this goes back a long way, was doing this type of work for many years with many companies and on behalf of my own companies. And what we realized is that business relationships don't die. They never die. But they do fade away because they don't get the attention and because they don't get the follow-up.
Why am I thinking of a Neil Young song right now?
Yeah, I like it. So anyway, when you think about it in that perspective, you say there's something that needs to be done here. So we said a couple of years ago, we want to address this. And our first thought was, we're gonna create a new e-business card. And so I brought in a team of 4 CMU people to help me out with some new concepts and see if we can recreate the idea of a business card.
Wow, geez, that's like ripping up ages of tradition here.
Well, you know what we realized?
Here's what's so funny is that I don't own business cards. I have some, but I don't care to use them. And it's always like, which is bad because you want to exchange, but then most people don't have a card. But then when they do, it's like, really? You give me a card?
So I carry one around, but you'll notice I ripped the QR code off of it. So we started to do this whole, we thought, hey, e-business card, this is a better way to do it than regular business cards. There's got to be a better way to do this.
Yeah.
And
weren't people bumping their phones for a while or something going on?
That's part of what you can do right now. There's lots of neat things you could do.
Yeah.
But none of them make you more productive. And we started to go diving down this road, and we took several months to go figure out how to do it. We actually had designs put together, and we looked at the designs and we said, these are really neat. They're really nice. They're a great e-business card.
But do they really solve a problem?
They don't do the job. They don't solve the problem.
Well, that's interesting to me. I'm glad you're able to admit that to yourself, because seriously, this is something I see so many times. People go down a road pretty far and they're just going to convince themselves that this is great.
Well, you're
that
right.
happens, man. And you've been down the road many times. So I've seen people just keep digging it deeper, and it's like, come on, man.
Yeah, and frankly, most of the time very often it's not that it's not a good idea, but there are other pieces that are either incorrect or missing or whatever. But there's all sorts of reasons.
Or you realize what you have is just a freaking feature, right? And it's just like, well, that's great, but like I can't really scale this.
So we looked at this thing and we said, this is really a good e-business card reader, but it's never going to see the light of day because it doesn't differentiate what we want to get done and what we want people come to us to do. So we said, let's go back to the drawing board and let's work backwards and say, let's define what the specific problem is.
Yeah, what's the scenario where you're trying to remember someone's name or their contact information, right?
You don't want that relationship to fade away.
Right.
So we worked backwards and we introduced this idea of confirm meet and greet. So the idea is you already have some things that you do. And at most of these types of events, you have some sort of badge on, or maybe some nameplate in front of you or something to that effect.
Nameplate, wow. Damn.
And what do they call it? Name tags.
I want a nameplate. That could be your next thing. In front of nameplate.
And I know on the podcast and on the radio, nobody can see what's in front of us on this desk. But I've got 7 or 8 different name tags that have been given to me over the last, 6 months or so.
Robotics Factory, the Innovation Channel.
And they're all good and they all work and they're really nice.
I like the old school one that says, hello, my name is David.
But what about that one intrigues you?
Because it's hand done.
It's handwritten.
Right. So how are you going to capture something that's handwritten?
And that's sort of a cool thing. So if you don't mind, and this is, I'm going to describe.
Can I be you and put this name tag on me right now?
I'm going to describe this for people on the radio. So what happens is you're wearing a name badge. Now that one doesn't have your name. That one's got my name on it. But all it says is David.
For demonstration purposes. Yes, it's handwritten.
And so I take out my phone.
You got neat handwriting though. I'll give you that much.
Thank you.
I should do my own name as you would pull it.
I aim it at that badge.
Yeah.
And I click read a name badge.
Yeah.
And by the way, when I just took the picture of you, really, that badge was little. It wasn't really big.
Yeah.
Would you please read the name that's on there now?
Jonathan Kirsting. No, okay. It says David Radin. It's the name tag that I'm holding
because it found me. We did some matching. So what we're doing is we're combining AI.
Good.
With OCR, which goes way back in my background, because I used to work for engineering scanning companies back when I first started in the industry.
All right.
The fun fact is my boss, his claim to fame was he could read a Wall Street Journal from a satellite. That's how good his OCR was compared to most.
Okay.
Most. We're taking all of these types of things, sort of building them together.
Okay.
And so now I have this piece where it says, you just talked to David Radin.
Yeah.
Do you want to invite him? You click send an invite.
Yeah.
So then at that point, it sends a text to you, the person who's reading the badge. It will say, do you want to accept this? Because remember, this is all permission-based.
100%. You got to have a permission-based.
And you say yes and accept it. And before you know it, we both have full information about one another.
But this means that somebody has to have the app, right? Or
has to have an account.
Have to have an account.
Yeah.
And then that account has to have your information populated, the information that you want people to see and all that kind of good stuff.
Correct.
Right?
So the idea here is that you've been invited to go to an event. And so the host gives you the opportunity to say, I want to network at this event. This is the kind of thing I want to be able to share. It takes 30 seconds maybe.
Okay.
And by the way, one of the reasons why I tore off my QR code.
You were angry at it.
Because when I enter my info in with confirmed, all I got to do is point it at my own business card.
Okay.
And it enters the information for me. The only thing that I have to type is a password.
Oh, nice.
Again, using new techniques to do things
Make
that
it easy.
Pain points for people.
There's nothing worse when you're in a hurry trying to type something small in and you're like fumbling with it. Like, right.
So optimally, you're registered in advance. And because the host has said, come do this, you click a link or you go to, I hate to say it, but you can also use a QR code. Only place we do it is to connect you to the event, not to connect you to each other.
QR codes were cool again.
Sure, if you were in a restaurant and want a menu.
There you go.
But even that has its downsides if you've ever gone to a restaurant in which you were pre-registered. But let's get that off the table for a minute. So in this particular case, you've asked been asked to pre-register, so your data's already in there. If in fact you're not pre-registered, when I click to do that, it tells me he's not pre-registered. Here, have him pre-register.
So
and it gives you the ability to do it off of my phone.
Gotcha. Cool.
To just use your phone to look at my phone and click and do it.
Excellent.
So the idea here is, but that's just the start of it. So we're using AI and optical character recognition to make it easy for us to exchange the information.
Exactly.
But we're also breaking the problem parts. So normally with e-business cards or with regular business cards, for instance, I give you information and I'm dependent on you to do the next thing. In our methodology, I can read your badge and we'll both have the information afterwards,
So
not
then
just me getting your information.
Go back. Right.
Number
exactly.
one.
That makes sense.
Number two, it's a single click to get to your LinkedIn.
Very cool.
Number three, it's a single click to get to your scheduler. And that could be our scheduler. We love people to use our schedulers because we think we add some things in many cases, especially for mobile professionals, that are great. But if they want to use one of those old-fashioned pre-pandemic era type of schedulers like Calendly or Microsoft Bookings or one of those, they can use it with our system and put it in there. Okay. And then you could put your own notes in about what the conversation was like.
Very cool.
And then sync it to your CRM system.
So back up so you can sync it to your CRM. So if you're using, was it Salesforce that you're mostly looking up to?
We do a lot of work with Salesforce. So so the idea here is not only am I exchanging the information, but I'm giving myself a path to look it up either on my phone or on my computer. And then if I'm a CRM user, I can actually have it in my single source of truth that's already there, have all the tasks, all that other stuff. If you and I have already had connections before, if you and I are old friends, and we might meet at one of the Tech Council events and we're both using this. So one of us, instead of trying to remember what we talked about in order to go back, I could point at your badge and I can then type the notes in. And then it goes into my CRM system for follow-up.
Very exciting.
So it's a really cool idea in order to be able to, as I said, it keeps you from having those conversations die.
And there's nothing else you've seen in the marketplace that's doing anything quite like this. This is very novel then.
I haven't seen it, no.
Cool.
And I looked for it.
Okay. Of course, I mean, but I'm just, to me, it just seems like some of these things you're talking about, just sometimes things are just so obvious that they never get done. And so I feel like this could be something that's like, this is like the next wave of how we actually connect and maintain relationships, through meeting people at events and so forth, which is where so many of us are.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day. That's very exciting. And so when do you officially launch this thing? Is it out in the wild now? Like when can we expect to be able to download an account and...
So we've had a solid 1.0 version for several months now. Okay. And we have been working with organizations on an invitation-only basis.
Gotcha.
So these are not small organizations. So here in the Pittsburgh area, Innovation Works has used it a couple times with us already.
Great.
Pittsburgh is using it with us, Pittsburgh.ai. Nationally, we've got people like the Founders Institute, and we've got people like the Association for, ACG, Association for Corporate Growth. So Better Business Bureau, and they keep asking us back, which is kind of cool.
That's always a good sign for saying it's working, yes.
We originally we were signed up to do 2 events for the Salesforce community. You'll love this one.
Okay.
We were signed up to do 2 events for the Salesforce community. And people showed up to these events and said, can I do this at my event? Or I'm going to another event and I'd like you to be there. I'll give you a reference to the person who is organizing that event so that you can make sure that I can do it there.
Yeah.
And so now we're on our 6th Salesforce community event already.
Very nice. That's saying something. I mean, when you start tapping into that community, you're talking about millions of people out there that are
really
into that stuff. So it's very exciting.
Yeah.
So it's out then, right?
Again, you won't find it on our website.
Okay.
If you want it, you got to contact us right now.
Gotcha.
In early 2026, it will be more broadly distributed.
That's what I'm talking about. Cool.
But for instance, we were talking at one point about potentially using it for the Tech 50. And that would have been a wonderful thing, recognizing that it was very early. And that's you probably don't want to do it at that big of an event when it's that early a preview.
Right. Yeah. We want to see something that would probably be really we don't want to mess things up with our biggest event of the year.
Right. So we're hoping it's going to be at some Tech Council events soon.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
But we're, working with people here who are doing, 1,000, 2,000 person events.
Wow. Okay.
We're not intending to get rid of other software. So if you're very happy with software you've got, the Eventbrite or the Meetup source.
It plugs right into that and not replace it, but be something that comes very complementary and additive to what is going on.
Yeah, and it's for the event organizer, it's about a 60-second ad for you put your event in.
That's a really crucial point because the event organizers, I know them well, they're very busy and they don't want to be frustrated. And so being able to make that seamless for them is a very important aspect of that.
You, for instance, at the Tech Council, have a staff of people who do that. The idea here is a staff of one part-time.
We have a staff of 2 that does 130 days.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
The point is, we don't want to burden them.
Exactly.
So the idea
is that it's to make it easy.
30 seconds, 60 seconds startup. You're done. Now everyone could join and it works well.
I love it.
Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate your business.
Super, super funny. What a super fun way to start off 2026. David, I just love your energy and it gets me fired up for the year to come. That's why we love telling stories just like this each and every Sunday. Got to thank you all for tuning in and hanging out with me on TechVibe. Please come back next weekend. I look forward to seeing you on the air. In the meantime, go to pghtech.org and find out all the ways we love helping tech companies succeed. Then go have an awesome rest of your Sunday, everybody. Thanks for geeking out with us on TechVibe Radio. Tune in next Sunday for more tech and innovation stories right here from Pittsburgh. Get TechVibe wherever you get your podcasts and never miss a show. TechVibe is brought to you by the generous support of Compunetics at Compunetics.com, Chorus Call at ChorusCall.com, Highmark at Highmark.com, Huntington Bank at Huntington.com, The Kindling Culture Agency at TheKindlingAgency.com, PNC Bank at PNC.com, Savior at Savior.com, and Studio Me at StudioMeProductions.com. TechVibe proudly broadcasts from the Huntington Bank Studios.